The death of XXXTentacion remains one of the most heartbreaking and controversial tragedies in modern hip-hop history. In 2018, the rapper was killed during a robbery in Florida at just 20 years old. The people responsible have already been convicted. Michael Boatwright, identified as the gunman, was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences plus an additional 30 years. Trayvon Newsom and Dedrick Williams were also sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. A 4th participant, Robert Allen, reached a plea deal with prosecutors. He pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and testified against the other defendants. Because of his cooperation, he received a reduced sentence of 7 years in prison and 20 years of probation. He was released in 2023 after receiving credit for the time he had already spent behind bars awaiting trial.
Even with the killers already convicted and locked up for XXXTentacion's murder, a lot of people still point the finger at Drake to this day. Let's break down how this whole beef started. It all blew up between 2017 and 2018. X was blowing up with a brand new sound, emo rap, scream rap, that mix of melodic vibes with raw aggression. He straight up accused Drake of biting his style, his flow, and even his whole musical concepts. X was vocal about it, saying Drake was stealing the new wave that he helped popularize. He compared joints like Look at Me to the more emotional melodies Drake started using. There were tons of shots thrown on social media, lives, and interviews. Things got real heavy when X posted a direct message on his stories. If anyone tries to kill me, it was that champagne poppy. I'm snitching RN Night. But man, that accusation X made while he was still alive was really heavy. A lot of people still question if Drake had any real involvement or something like that. Even though X had that big beef with Drake at the time, he later deleted the post and publicly apologized, saying it was all in the heat of the moment.
I hate speaking on it, and I want to say this right now. I want to say this on this video. I apologize to Drake for coming for his mom. I saw you as a business opportunity as you saw me as a business opportunity. As you extorted the cadence from that song. I'm not going to argue. It is what it is, nigga. The cadence is the exact fucking same. And if I'm just an emotional bitch ass nigga, then it is what it is. We agreed to disagree like men, but I apologize because talking about his mom was wrong. I needed to do that. I needed to do that so they could take me seriously. And he was a stepping stone like I was a stepping stone. So I apologize for disrespecting your mom. I apologize for coming at you, talking about you crazy and threatening you and shit. And I apologize. As a man to a man, I apologize. Genuinely. If I had the opportunity to speak to bro, I would tell him, I apologize. I would have been apologized. Before I wanted to fight his ass. On 1,000. Before I wanted to fight him. Before I absolutely wanted to fight, bro. Now, it's like I understand. Now I understand more because I grow day by day. People forget, bro. I'm 19 years old. I was not saying my age before, but people were seeing face tattoos like, oh, this little nigga got to be at least like 20, 23. You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro, I'm fucking 19 years old. My birthday on the 23rd, which is a couple days from now. I'm fucking 19 years old. I'm just about to turn 20.
When you did go against Drake, though.
Wait. Okay, yeah. You said if I didn't do that. Yeah, no.
No. I was really trying to get to the courage of doing it because I don't think anybody else would.
Would do it.
We see a lot of young artists. Every young artist he's fuck with.
Yeah.
No one is gonna. And by the way, there's been other people who have accused them of jacking their song or their flow.
And
or
they went right behind him and kissed his ass and shook his hand and smiled in his face. Nah, bro.
Why didn't you? Why didn't you?
Bro, I'm solid, bro. I'm solid.
Keep it on it. Was it because you were in jail? Because had you not been in jail, would you have done?
If I was outside of jail and bro took my shit and previewed my shit in Amsterdam like he did, I would have, bro. What? I probably actually would have found a way to find, bro. And it would have been real, like trying to do some shit. Because then I wouldn't be on probation. It would have been more crazy. It would have been more crazy. And yes, I would have did exactly what I did. Because let me tell you something. Getting out of jail and not wanting to go back to jail put a restraint on my mind. You know what I'm saying? It put a restraint on my mind. So it made me not do certain things. Bro, before I was fucking reckless, bro. Let me tell you something, bro. I was fucking reckless, bro.
He even posted some things on Twitter about Drake, but those were deleted too. X claimed his account got hacked. The Drake face memes and shots were wild back then. But man, shit got even heavier when Drake's name was dropped right in the courtroom during the XXXTentacion murder trial. Check this out. This is from the defense attorney's opening statement. He went straight in. Before X died, he said on social media, "If anybody kills me, it's Drake." You think the police investigated that? You think they went and talked to him? Nah. Years later, no detective ever asked Drake or anybody like that. So you tell me, how is that possible? The lawyer used it to argue the investigation was incomplete. They never really went at Drake, even after X publicly pointed the finger. That moment made the whole controversy explode again. A lot of people started speculating heavy if Drake had some type of involvement, even with zero concrete evidence against him. The prosecution clapped back, saying there was no evidence linking Drake to the crime and he was never charged.
Because it didn't comport with the narrative that they wanted to pursue, okay? In the same breath, before X died, he said, "If anybody kills me, it's Drake." And do you think that for one moment, here today, days after the event, he's killed by two masked men, right? He came out on social media and said, "Guys, before he dies, if anybody kills me, it's Drake." Do you think in that time span that they went and they addressed him, they talked to him? No. Do you think sitting here today, years later, any detective has ever asked, Drake or anybody like that? No, they never did that. So you ask yourself, how could that be? If any of us is involved in, God forbid, in a murder, and you say, "Hey, it's so-and-so," you better believe so-and-so is going to get investigated. But in this case, they didn't do it. They didn't do it because it didn't comport with their version, their narrative.
Real talk. This whole situation really messes with your head. But at the end of the day, I don't believe Drake had anything to do with X's death. Drake is a billionaire mogul in the game. No matter how much some people try to paint him as gangster, the robbery was straight up clear. Those dudes wanted the money, X resisted, and they took his life in cold blood. That decision is gonna cost them the rest of their lives behind bars. I still think Drake was actually a fan of X's sound. That's why he was biting that style so heavy. Imagine if instead of beef, they had actually collaborated. Two different generations of talent linking up. That could have been legendary for the culture. We lost X way too soon. I know some fans out there create wild speculations and conspiracy theories, always pointing fingers at somebody. But one fact remains. Nothing is gonna bring our boy XXXTentacion back. So from here on earth, we pray you rest in peace up in heaven. And we hope his son keeps growing, building something positive and carries on the legacy. Rest in power, X.